on my own. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames won't burn us. You're you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm doing What If Deku Had Meliodas' Abilities, Part 1. This is going to be the last video with the All Might action figure in it. So let me go ahead and explain the point system and how it's going to work, and, how you know what placement you came in, and all that. So, the first person to find the All Might action figure gets 3 points. Second person to find it, 2 points. And the last person to find it gets 1 point. And then the fourth person gets 0 points. So, if you found it but didn't put it in the comment section, I'm afraid you not only did not get entered in to win the free shoutout, but you didn't tell me that you found it. So, I can't really give you the win if I didn't know you found it first. That's why I tell you guys to, I don't know if I actually told you guys, but to put it down in the comment section, where it is, and, all that. So, I know if you found it, or if someone else found it first. So I know those kind of things. If you didn't tell me that you found it, and then, I'm afraid I can't just read your mind through the screen. That doesn't really work like that. So I didn't know you found it, so I can't really give you the win. So I'm sorry about that. In case I didn't say it, if you watch this video till the very end, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and then while you're at it, United States of smash the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video, because I posted a video yesterday. It was What If Deku was a P.E.K.K.A. from Clash of Clans, and that video flopped horribly, and I mean horribly. It wouldn't, and it, compared to all my other videos, I normally get 20 likes. That's my average, but if it's a good video, it can normally get up to 40 likes to 30 maybe. And those are normally the videos I know I need to continue. And don't worry, I am still thinking about what if Deku had Elsa's powers and what if Deku had Doctor Strange powers. I am still thinking about those. I don't know when I'm going to do them, but I'm going to do them. And I don't like telling you guys about the videos I'm going to post, but just know, if you've seen Seven Deadly Sins, if you've seen Seven Deadly Sins, then just know I will be doing what ifs on those characters, what if Deku, and then enter other character, or maybe just what ifs on Seven Deadly Sins. I haven't really decided yet, so I'm probably gonna put up a poll right now if you guys want to see what ifs on maybe not Dragon Ball. I haven't seen the original, so I can't really do it on that. Maybe Demon Slayer or Star Wars or anything else. Just let me know. Because I'm trying to do things that you guys want to see. I mean, yeah, I'll do videos on, videos I want to do that maybe you guys don't want to see, but, most of the videos I do is videos you guys want to see. So, yeah, I think I've babbled on for long enough. Let's go ahead and get into this. So we're going to start when Deku is at the Quirk Doctor. And the doctor is Deku doesn't have the joint in his toe, so he doesn't have a quirk. And Deku is immediately, shocked by this. And Deku's or Inko is like, what do you mean he doesn't? So are you saying he can't get a quirk eventually? And the doctor's like, it's possible, but so far we haven't seen anyone do that. So it's highly unlikely. And then Deku's dad is like, there has to be a way to give him a quirk. No, your x-rays are wrong. There's no way my son doesn't have a quirk. I will not believe that he does not have a quirk. And the doctor's like, hold on there, sir. I'm just saying it's highly impossible that he doesn't have a quirk. And then Deku's dad is like, that's basically the same thing. And the quirk doctor is like, sir, this is state-of-the-art technology. There is no possible way that we got anything wrong. And Deku's dad is like, there has to be a way. Is there a way we can give him a quirk? Is there anything we can try? And then the quirk doctor's like, sir, calm down. From what our technology has bring us and what our research has been, there is so far no way to give someone a quirk. So please get out of my office if you are going to be this rude. And Deku's dad is like, he will get a quirk and we will show that your technology is the crappiest technology I have ever seen. Hold on. I have to wipe something off my screen. There we go. Please don't start, dog. Okay. Oh, my feet are starting to freeze. Where did I put my shoes? There's my shoes. I'm outside right now, so if you guys hear the birds or maybe the wind, that's why. Hold on, guys. I gotta scoot back. Oh, that hurt. So cold. Okay, like I was saying, Deku's dad is like, we will show that your technology is the crappiest technology in the world. He will get a quirk. And then Deku's dad storms off with Deku in his arms. And Deku's just crying and crying. And then the nurses see that Deku's dad has like this weird black marking on his face. But then it quickly goes away. And then Inko's like, I'm so sorry. He gets very emotional when it comes down to bad things happening to his son. You know, even if Deku just got like a scrape on his knee, he will get very emotional. I am very sorry. And the quirk doctor's like, it's fine, man. We've seen this happen to Mary a lot of families when their son doesn't get a quirk. It's rare that people don't get a quirk, but it does happen. And when it does, it can be very emotional. And then Inko pays for the visit and leaves. And then, Inko's like, why would you get that upset over this? We can't help it. And then Deku's dad is like, we will find a way to give our son a quirk. And then Inko's like, it's impossible. Alright? Face the facts. And then, a couple days later, or maybe a couple months later, Deku's dad dies. So Deku is like around 7 years old and his father dies. Deku's dad dies. And he's at his burial saying his goodbyes, and Deku just starts bawling, and then all of a sudden all these black marks appear on his face, and he screams, and the entire area is turned into a giant crater. And then a bunch of heroes show up, and Deku just swipes his hand like in thin air, and the just overall power from the blast sends the heroes flying. And then a bunch of people are like storming Deku, and they're like saying, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" And the heroes are trying to stop them from like rioting, basically. And they're like, "How ungrateful are you to do this at your own father's burial?" And Inko is barely, like, almost passed out as she sees Deku, like, he was floating, and then he came down to the ground and started sobbing as everyone started running at him. And the heroes, like all of them are police officers. Like, all the basically rioters are, like, police officers and family members with really strong quirks. And the heroes, and they all start rushing at Deku because they noticed the change in power has shifted over to them. Like, they felt the pure power of Deku, and then they just felt the power, like, just kind of fly away, as if Deku was never that strong. So they all start charging at Deku, and Deku is, like, running away sobbing, scared for his life. And then Deku flees into a forest, and everyone's chasing after him, but then this weird man drops down, like this ninja-looking man drops down, grabs Deku, and just basically disappears. And then an entire search team goes into the forest, and they can't find him. And then the crater is marked a memorial, or not really a memorial, but a reminder to how destructive quirks can be if uncontained, basically. In the future, 13 will actually, like, when Deku's in UA, 13 will talk about that same memorial place. Or, not really memorial, but you guys get it. Like, that same spot, and she'll talk about that kind of thing. If we do make it to there, sorry. So, yeah. So Deku wakes up, and this guy's, like, caring for him, like, taking care of him. And Deku, like, sits up real fast, and he's like, "Where am I? I want to go home." And then this guy is like, "I'm sorry, but you won't be able to go home for a while. I'm very sorry." And Deku's like, "How come?" And this guy is like, "You may not remember, but you destroyed a giant portion of the city, and now everyone hates you and thinks of you as a villain." And Deku's like, "A villain? But... And then he knows that he can't lie, and he breaks down crying and says, I'm a villain! And the guy is like, "It's alright. I will help you clear your mind and soul of the sin you have created upon yourself." And then he gives Deku his name, Meliodas, the dragon sin. And then this guy, I'm gonna give this guy a transferring quirk and a dark quirk. So it's like he can control darkness, like the matter of darkness itself. Like, he can create, like, dark orbs to fire at people. He can create dark spears. He can create dark henchmen. He basically controls the darkness. And he can even, like, kind of copy other dark type quirks. Like, say him and Tokiyami were to get into a fight, he would be able to manipulate Dark Shadow into attacking Tokiyami. Like, so any dark quirk he can create, manifest, and use against the person. So, this guy is like, "Alright, I'm going to train you into becoming the best you can be, so you can become a hero and pay for the sin you have created. And then he gives Deku the name Meliodas and says he's the dragon's sin. Because dragons are known for being very, very destructive in their capabilities. So he gives him the name Meliodas, dragon's sin. I forgot what, the last bit of it was. I keep on thinking greed, but no, that's Spawn, the fox sin of greed. Okay, I gotta get back to the story. He is training, and, he's doing, basically the same kind of training, dang it, what's his name? Tanjiro did in Demon Slayer. He's doing that kind of training. He's he has to dodge all the booby traps, and he has to do hand-to-hand combat as soon as he gets to the bottom of the hill. He has to practice his breathing, and at the very end he does he has to, because I'm gonna go ahead and go in depth here. So one time when they were training, Deku, because the master guy, he asked about Deku's dad, and the thought of Deku's dad and what he did sparked something, and then the black mark came on him, and as soon as he saw even a pinch of the black mark, he could feel the power difference shifting over to Deku. So the master tries, what should I call him? I'm gonna call him Dark. Yeah, Dark tries to manipulate the, tries to manipulate the darkness in Deku, but he can't. The darkness is way too strong for even his control. It's, way too strong. So then Deku, before the, Dark could even see, Deku had already gotten up behind him and punched him from the back, launching him through 5 trees. And then Deku passed out because, he hasn't used the power in so long, and, it was just too much for him to handle. Because I'm gonna say the power he used to create that giant hole was 100% of his power at 7 years old. And now at 8 years old, he just used, I'm gonna say, 10% of his power, no, 20% of his power to launch Dark through all those trees. Because, that was him in pure anger when he used all 100%. And no, that's not gonna be the full of his capabilities, because Meliodas is a couple of 1,000 years old when he created the giant hole that was basically an entire country. He created that giant hole. And this hole that Deku made would only be maybe the size of a crater. This crater was about the size of about 2 Hiroshima bombs. That's how deep the hole was. Or 1 Hiroshima bomb. That was how deep it was. And how, strong it was. So, yeah. So, Deku passes out and all that. And that's when the rough training starts. He has to dodge all the booby traps. First he has to do I'm gonna say 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, a 1 kilometer run, and then that run will lead up to the top of the mountain, and then he has to go back down the mountain, dodging all the booby traps. And then once he gets to the bottom of the mountain, he does a sparring match, and then he does basically a 10-hour what's it called? Meditation. So he can learn how to control his dark power. And the rare occasion, he gets very, very angry. So, now we're gonna skip to, like, when he's 13. So now Deku can use up to 70%, no, that's way too much. Without passing out, he can use 10% without passing out, and without, making a sweat. But 15% is the most he can use. If he goes any higher, he'll pass out. Like, he has to get very angry in order to go to 30%. And he has to be mad, and I mean mad, like, beyond Hulk mad, in order to go 100%. And even if he does go 100%, he can only stay in there for about a minute or so. But, yeah, because of how strong he is in that form, he can easily do the damage he needs to do when in that form. For a minute. He can easily do the damage he needs to do. So, once he hits 13, his master got really, really sick with the rarest disease on Earth, and also the deadliest disease on Earth. And the doctors say he only has a day left to live, or a couple hours left to live. So they leave Deku alone. And Deku's, like, really crying, and he's about to go 100% because of how mad he is. Or not, like, he's about to go, like maybe 60% of his full power because of how mad he is. And how sad he is. And then the Dark says, "It's alright. It's alright. I know that you can make it through this without me. I've already contacted your mother, but let me give you a gift to remember me by." And then he pulls out this sword, and he says, "It'll help you not only use more of your power without passing out, but it'll also help you control your power and make you stronger." And then he says, "Make sure to do 100 swings with this per day so you can get the ropes of it. It's a very strong tool, and it could very well kill someone if you can't control its power." And then a couple minutes later, he dies. Deku left the room before he died and did his, what's it called? I keep on forgetting what it's called! Meditation. He did a full night's worth of meditation. And once he was done, his mom gave him the biggest hug on earth, because she had not seen him in years. And now her little boy, who was only 7 years old, who caused all that trouble and was never seen again, was now a teenager. And Deku was like, "Mom?" And then all the feelings that he had for his family just came rushing back, and he started bawling his eyes out, and he was like, "I'm sorry for what I did at Dad's burial. I'm so sorry." And then Inko's like, "It's alright, it's alright. I should have believed your father when he said he'd give you a cork. I should have believed him. What have you been doing all this time?" And Deku's like, "Remember when I destroyed all that place? This person dropped down and saved me from the police. His name was Dark. He was a grand master of every martial arts and was a dark cork user, and one of the best at that. And he trained me all these years to control my abilities and learn how to be able to fight without using them, and be able to fight strongly at that. And Deku doesn't know that he's actually using his power when he fights, because when he fights, he fights as how Meliodas fights. But if he goes beyond 15%, the mark shows up. So either way, he's OP. If the mark shows up, then that means he powers up a lot, even for 15%. That's why he can hardly control the mark. The mark is basically everything above 15% of his power. And 15%. Everything 15% and above is when the mark activates. And that's why it's so hard to control 15%. So, yeah. And then Deku has been homeschooled this entire time by the teacher. Because he was also a teacher. Dark was also a teacher. A quirk teacher. He always taught, I'm going to say he was a teacher at UA when, let me think. When All Might was there at UA. And then he got kicked out because his quirk was so strong that students were being knocked out when they were being trained. So, yeah. Deku goes back to school, and Bakugo immediately realizes who it is and starts bullying the crap out of Deku. So this makes Deku meditate a lot, because remember, Deku was 7 years old when he was taken in by Dark and when the entire thing happened. So that gave Bakugo plenty of time to meet Deku, because I'm pretty sure Deku met Bakugo at 4 years old. Maybe 3, 4 years old. So that gave Bakugo plenty of time to, get used to him. And as soon as he knew that Deku didn't have a quirk, he bullied him. So, he's still Bakugo. He still knew Bakugo. Or Deku still knew Bakugo. Bakugo still knew him. So, nothing really changed other than Bakugo hadn't seen him in years. And Bakugo still knew who caused the incident. He knew that was Deku on the news. Even at such a young age. So Bakugo's like, "You dang villain!" And he slams Deku into a locker. And he's like, "What did you do? My dad was there when it happened. You could have killed him!" And he was about to punch Deku, but Deku dodged it. And then knocked Bakugo out. But he didn't do it very hard, just enough to pass him out for a minute or two. Just enough time for Deku to get to class without anyone noticing. So, the teacher's like, "Bakugo, what are you doing in so late?" And Bakugo's like, "That nerd attacked me!" And Deku's like, "What do you mean?" And then Bakugo, realizing he has no evidence, he just goes straight to his table. And the teacher's like, "Bakugo, that is not nice or good to blame someone of attacking you. You do realize that could get you in serious trouble, young man." And Bakugo's like, "Ugh, no one cares about Deku anyways." And teacher's like, "Say sorry right now." And Bakugo's like, "No." And then the teacher scoffs and is like, "As you all know, this is the last day of the class for the year. Deku did start middle school and, did all that. But this is the last year. We fast forward to the last year. So, sorry if I didn't mention that." So the teacher does all that, and then he's like, "Time to..." Sorry, I had to get a drink. "It's time to decide what you guys are going to be when you guys are old enough." Sorry, there's a plane. So, he throws the papers in the air, and he is like, "Who cares? I know you all want to be heroes." And they all start using his and they all start using their quirks. And then Deku, without anyone noticing, speeds around, puts all their hands and stuff to their table, because he doesn't want them to get in trouble, except for Bakugo. Bakugo didn't really use his quirk, but so he made sure to make sure everyone wasn't using their quirks. So, and then he came back to his seat, and they were all like, "Wait, what happened?" I'm pretty sure I just put my hands up and started using my quirk. That's weird. And then, Deku, like, starts laughing. And then Bakugo's like, don't put me in a class with any of these B-listers. I'm the only one worth getting into UA, and the only one who will get into UA. And then Deku's like, Bakugo, you won't get into UA with that kind of attitude. A hero is someone who can make people happy and save them at the same time, like All Might. And Bakugo's like, what are you talking about, you dang nerd? I've always wanted to be like All Might, and you should know that. And I know that. Just know I'll come after you. The end of class. And then Deku's like, you can try. And then the teacher walks out, and then Deku, as soon as Bakugo sits up and starts going after him, Deku, like, in the blink of an eye, is out of the room and already out of the school. And Deku's like, Bakugo still doesn't know I have a quirk. He probably thinks I'm a ghost. And now we're going to go back to Bakugo. Where the heck did that loser go? Did he get a... Sorry about that. And then Bakugo is like, where did he go? And then he walked up to another classmate, and he's like, did you see Deku walk out of here? And the classmate's like, no. Was the Deku even in here? And he's like, yeah, he was. Where'd everyone else go? Oh, they just left while you were walking over to that desk. Oh, yeah. Deku was in here. Wait, where did he go? And Deku's like just laughing as he gets to the shortcut. And then the sludge villain comes out of nowhere. And he's like, ugh, dang All Might. And then he sees Deku and he's like, a perfect host / hostage. Come here, kid. And he goes in to attack Deku, but then Deku's like right behind him. And he's like, wait, where'd that kid go? And then Deku's like, over here. Did you need something? Or, you must have like some kind of teleportation quirk. And then Deku's like, no, I was just moving really fast. And then all of a sudden, Deku's behind the sludge villain again. And the sludge villain's like, what? No matter. It'll just make me stronger. If you're this fast, I'll surely be able to escape that All Might. And then he goes in to attack Deku, but then Deku gets up behind him again, and then he, like, punches the air, and the air compresses into, like, an attack, and it blasts right through the sludge villain and creates this hole in him. And he's like, ugh, that dang kid. Guess he also has super strength. And then Deku appears up behind him again, and he's like, it's kind of a mix of both my speed and my strength, but, who cares? And then Deku goes in to punch him like normally. It hits him, but then the sludge villain's like, now you're not going anywhere. My goop, you'll never be able to escape my goop. And then he starts, like, kind of pulling Deku in, but Deku, being how strong he is, pulls his arm out real quick. And then gets up behind him again, and then knowing that if he keeps on just normally attacking him, the sludge villain's just gonna keep on absorbing his punch normally, and then, grabbing him. So he uses the air, and, like, punches the air, and, like, basically kind of creates, like, an air gun. When he punches, the air, like, blasts at in whatever direction his fist was. So he keeps on doing that, like, he'll, like, to the sludge villain, it looks like he's teleporting, but in reality, he's moving so fast that the eye physically can't see him. So, like, he'll run over to one spot, punch, then he'll run over to the next, and it keeps on going, boom, 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 boom. And then Deku's like, this is really getting annoying. Will you please just run away? Like, and then he, like, throws, like, 50 punches into the sludge, like, 50 air punches straight into the sludge villain, blowing, like, 50 holes into him, and he's like, what the? And then All Might gets there, and he's like, I am here. And then the sludge villain's like, no, no, no. And then All Might jumps in front of the sludge villain and is like, that's right, smash! And he blows the sludge villain away. And then, scoops him up in a jar and puts him in. And then Deku's like, All Might! And he goes half geek than he normally would because he's been out in the forest. He hasn't been able to watch that video as much to get him even more excited to be a hero. So, he's still a geek for All Might, but not as much in original continuity or as much as I make him in my other what ifs. So Deku's like, can you sign my... And then he opens up his book and sees that All Might already signed it for him. And he's like... And then he said, thanks, All Might. And then All Might is like, no problem, kid. And then Deku asks, wait, do you think I can become a hero? And All Might's like, I'm sure you can become a great hero with how good you were doing against the sludge villain. And then he jumps away. Deku, being very happy with what happened, goes home. No, Bakugo does not get attacked because the sludge villain did not escape, and because Deku did not grab onto All Might. So yeah, if you watched the video till this point, make sure you hit the like button, and while you're at it, subscribe. And then turn on, or United States of, smash the bell icon to be notified when I post part 2 to this video, or even a different video. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.